the same. So I was giving her situations upon situations. Then she stood up, jumped up. She started smiling. She said, Praise, I want to worship God now. Bring in music. Started worshiping. And she said, I told you guys. I told you, if I can get praise here, I know. He said, now I understand this. He said, Praise, you know what? We're going to get a new house. I'm going to work to get this back. But I'm not going to get this back because it means that divinity wants to give me something new. So this is gone. Let's go party. Right? And that was recovery for us. So between depression and acceptance, what I do is to bring my clients back to understanding of who they are, because that is the biggest thing that loss can take from you. Once it gets to your core, where you now doubt yourself, you are not now able to do what you will ordinarily do, right? Because of what people will say. They say, kilon do know in our language, you know, why is this one, you know, see this one that should bury ahead. Do you know? And then your people that you are owing, they are on your neck, you know, they are threatening you. They, as in, I had someone, a mentee like that, who was owing a lot of money. One day I called her. I said, see, you are not the biggest whatever in the whole world. Do you know? I mentioned a lot of people. I said, this one, you know, this person is the highest, owing a lot of banks, but everybody, they still go and celebrate him. I said, so what you tell them is, you know what, I'm working hard. When I can refund you, I can refund you. I said, when they were making money off you, were they hounding you and beating you and fighting you? We made money from you. You are a very wicked person. You made. Well, they were not even thanking you. They were excited. So if they were with you in the moment where you delivered, why have you not suddenly become? And it's not as if you ran away. You took their money and ran away, and then you have now bought citizenship in another country. That's not what you did. You are still there. So is it by creating chaos for you that you will be able to pay their money back? Or is when you... So I said, get back online, go and start doing your classes. Anybody that... People will come there and be cynical. I said, you see, never surrender leadership to fears. I mean, one of the first books I read was Tough Time Never Last Tough People Do by Robert Schuller. I read that book maybe when I was 17 or 16, right? And it was a classic book on failure. It was a book on how these guys failed and failed and failed and learned how to succeed through failure. So I never forget that in crisis, you don't surrender leadership to fear. You don't surrender leadership to force. You don't surrender leadership to cynics. You don't surrender leadership to outside people. No, you must own leadership. And so I said, you know what? The only factor in all of this equation is not what you are owing. It's not what you have lost. The only factor is you. And it's this you I want to talk to. So once I start speaking to the core person within, to say, this is who you are. You are not what you owe. You are not what people think of you. This is who you are. And this you is not intact, right? You are still valuable. And I showed them a piece of dollar or naira. And I showed them how if you squeeze the dollar and you spread it back, the value is still intact. If I spat on it, right, and I stretch it back, the value is intact. If I toy it and I put it together and I still take it to the market, the value is still intact. That regardless of what is done to that dollar note, if you spit on it, rough handle it, blackmail it, malign it, if you still take it back to the market, the value is still intact. Everything you have lost has not taken out what you know, has not taken out the power that produced those results in the first place. So it means we're going to go back there. Well, whatever they are saying is none of our business. You go in there, right, and show yourself that you can bounce back, right? And oftentimes, it's almost as if I inject most of them with steroids or something. They just run back in there, and every time they want, I tell them, every time you are about losing it or this thing is coming back to you, call me. Because, you see, the way pain is chronicled in our memory is the biggest crisis that we face, right? And so once you can get people to a state of expanded awareness, and then you change the way they have recorded this in their mind, and that's why I create activities that show them every success they've ever made in their life. We call it their power spot.